This presentation is about the Los Angeles Dodgers, about the kind of brand loyalty they are currently experiencing, what makes up brand loyalty, and how the Dodgers can improve theirs. During this presentation, we will review the recent history of the LA Dodgers, the elements of brand loyalty according to academic research, brand loyalty in sports, then we'll conduct a survey to see where the Dodgers stand with the fans. The Dodgers are a 130-year-old baseball franchise that has gone through many incarnations. They are most known for successfully breaking the color barrier when they acquired Jackie Robinson in 1947, their 6 World Series championships, their tumultuous rivalry with the San Francisco Giants, and their colorful announcer Vin Scully, who has been at the mic since 1950. In 2004, the Los Angeles Dodgers were purchased by Frank McCourt.
McCourt bought the Dodgers by securing loans that amounted to over $450 million. In 2010, when McCourt went through divorce proceedings, the public learned that the team was built on debt. He had used the Dodgers to finance his elaborate lifestyle and needed more loans to make payroll. Unable to make ends meet, he filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. McCourt also made several bad management decisions that negatively impacted fan loyalty. He raised parking fees to as much as 200% the cost of a ticket, understaffed concessions with poorly trained employees, purchased expensive players past their prime and reduced the Dodgers' international scouting program, and he also cut costs by reducing the amount of security throughout the stadium. The results of the security reduction came to a head on opening day 2011, when 2 Dodger fans beat up 3 fans of the San Francisco Giants in the parking lot after the game. One victim, paramedic Brian Stowe, remained in a coma for 2 months and will most likely never fully recover. The assailants escaped police for several months. Fan attendance, especially the amount of consistent sold-out games, despite the win-loss record over the years, can give an indication of brand loyalty. After the highly publicized Brian Stowe incident and McCourt divorce trial, attendance at Dodger Stadium plummeted. Fans did not feel safe attending games, nor did they want to spend the money that would end up in McCourt's pocket. In 2011, the Dodgers sold on average 8,000 fewer tickets per game than in previous years. Turnstile attendance indicated the stands were only about 53% full during the 2011 and 2012 season. Hopes rose when Guggenheim Baseball Management purchased the Dodgers for more than $2 billion in 2012. A team of highly accomplished veterans were appointed to run the organization, including highly credible local icon Irvin Magic Johnson. As an apology to the fans, the Guggenheim Group lowered parking from $15 to $10. The team invested in expensive acquisitions of prime players and discovered new stars in the farm system. Over 20 improvements were made to the 50-year-old plus stadium, and in-game entertainment was improved. They also had a winning season in 2013, which helped. In 2013, the Dodgers led Major League Baseball in ticket sales, and 2014 season tickets had a 98% retention rate. On the surface, one may think that the Dodgers have recovered and can look forward to a prosperous future. Improved attendance, however, during a winning season alone is not considered an indicator of brand loyalty. Oliver quotes a Bain Capital study finding 65 to 85% of satisfied customers are ripe for poaching. This suggests that happy fans aren't necessarily committed fans. Also, improved attendance during a winning season alone is not considered an indicator of brand loyalty. Weems says that a team with high brand loyalty will have consistent attendance in both losing and winning seasons. Sports fans are fickle and can turn on their teams for a number of reasons. Guggenheim Baseball Management has made some unpopular decisions as well. After announcing the 2014 season ticket retention success, the remaining season tickets were released at a 140% price increase. On February 14, 2014, team leadership announced that $15 parking would be reinstated for people paying on the day of the game. Another considerable challenge for building fan interest stems from a new exclusive deal with Time Warner Cable that prohibits the majority of the residents of Los Angeles from watching games regularly on television. It is estimated that only 30% of people living in Los Angeles use Time Warner Cable, and the other 70% can't watch the games at all on TV.
Consistent attendance and television ratings during winning and losing seasons is an indicator of brand loyalty. However, that doesn't tell you why the fans are loyal to the brand, or how to create a strategy to maintain or improve fan loyalty. A deeper knowledge of the fan base, grounded in academic theory, needs to be explored in order to understand why the fans are attached to the brand or not.
Brand loyalty is a part of brand equity. David Aker's series, renowned by marketers and scholars alike, insists that brand equity is the most valuable asset of any company. For example, a soft drink company with high brand equity could introduce a new flavor and is more likely to be tried by those already familiar to the brand. Aker outlines the four main building blocks of brand equity as awareness, association, perceived quality, and brand loyalty. Mao considers brand loyalty as the nucleus of brand equity, as it can influence and be influenced by the other three elements. Brand loyalty is also considered the most valuable element of brand equity, as the results are easily quantifiable. Brand loyalty is defined as a measure of the attachment that a customer has to a brand. There are enough benefits to fill up dozens of PowerPoint slides, so I'll just hit some highlights. This includes saving on marketing campaigns and advertising. A brand loyal customer only takes about 5% of the marketing investment compared to a new customer. They are also 9 times more profitable than normal customers. Consumers are not as price conscious of a brand to which they are loyal and are less likely to be influenced by the competition. Brand loyal consumers also act as advocates in their social circles. These additional customers can be local, but more importantly, especially in the arena of sports, it allows the brand to expand across a greater geographic area. Even customers who can't physically attend a game can still buy merchandise and participate through television, radio, and internet. Also important for the Dodgers, brand loyalty buys time when a company faces a challenge or crisis. The brand's loyal following can sustain the brand while an adjustment is made. After the Brian Stowe incident at Dodger Stadium, turnstile and paid attendance plummeted. The attendance numbers alone would seem to indicate that the Dodgers had low to medium brand loyalty. Both Richard Oliver and David Aker suggest a hierarchy to brand loyalty. Richard Oliver defines brand loyalty levels as cognitive, affective, conative, and action. Cognitive loyalty is when a customer bases their brand choice on data and other information. After they use the product, fulfillment or happiness can occur. Upon receiving satisfaction, the user graduates to the second stage, affective loyalty. Consumers reach the conative stage after several positive exposures to the brand. The purchaser likes the brand, intends to make a repeat purchase, but does not always act on this intention. For example, if a buyer bought a pint of ice cream and enjoyed it several times, loyalty could be swayed by a competing brand with a sale or even just the adventure of trying a new flavor. The final stage is action loyalty. An emotional connection not only compels the buyer to act, but the buyer will overcome obstacles in order to make the purchase. If the same pint of ice cream is only available in Texas, and the action loyal customer lives in California, the customer would pay extra to have it shipped.
While Oliver's model is based on repetitive product exposure that eventually yields in brand loyalty, David Aker takes a similar but less process-oriented approach. His brand loyalty model is based on the amount of satisfaction achieved and the emotion felt by the customer when purchasing. Satisfaction and emotional involvement can be heightened through positive employee interaction, witnessing something extraordinary at the game or on TV, like Clayton Kershaw's no-hitter earlier this year, or even just a fun shared experience with other fans who were previously strangers. Akers describes the lowest tier of a non-loyal group of customer as price-sensitive and they switch brands frequently. The second level contains those who are satisfied with the brand but not impassioned. Aker describes this level of people as at least not dissatisfied. The third level is very satisfied, but can be swayed to switch brands through enticements of discounts or other elements of value. In Los Angeles, the competition not only includes other sports teams, but theme park attractions, world-class movie theaters, and even the beach. Aker refers to this group as the switching cost loyal. The fourth level contains buyers who really like the brand, not just for its utilitarian or hedonic properties, but they think of the brand as a friend to which they have an emotional attachment. Actress Alyssa Milano would fit in this category. She is a season ticket holder who is involved with the employees and even created her own merchandising line for the team. The fifth level are highly committed buyers who identify strongly with the brand and have great pride in calling themselves users. Aker describes this kind of consumer as someone who would get a tattoo of the brand. Sacharan Roy built upon and streamlined the works of Oliver and Aker to create a brand audit scale based on measuring cognitive, behavioral, and emotional scoring of participants. Cognitive measures how someone thinks about a brand, behavioral measures how someone acts, and emotional measures how someone feels about the brand. By segmenting the consumer or fan population into a hierarchy, a strategy to increase brand loyalty can then be determined and implemented.
There are numerous obstacles to brand loyalty. Causes for defection include a change in perception of a consumer's trust in the brand, Interactions between consumers and front-facing employees can also impact trust. Customers perceive their relationship to a brand similarly to a personal relationship. If trust between two people is broken, the relationship is damaged. The same is true of a relationship with a brand. If there is a negative interaction between the brand and a customer, even after several positive engagements, it could poison the customer's brand loyalty. In addition, if the brand or its employees act in an untrustworthy manner or make the consumer feel taken advantage of, this also harms the consumer's perception of the brand. The adventure of trying a new experience, the liking of several different brands, or a shift in perceived value or quality also plays a part in dismantling brand loyalty. There are pitfalls throughout the brand loyalty hierarchy, even in the higher stages. If there is a poor supply chain or an unavailability of a product, it can deter an interest in the brand and influence an enthusiastic customer to go in search of a competitor's product. In the case of the Dodgers, where the fans are unable to watch the games on television, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim have had a 30% bump in television ratings in 2014. Oliver notes that in all stages, poor brand experience or disintegrating performance are deadly to brand loyalty. Oliver, Gladden and Funk, and Mnookin all agree. Satisfaction or just winning is not a sustainable strategy. Many customers may be satisfied, yet still purchase a different brand or choose no brand at all for many reasons. Sports fans are in general fickle and will turn on the team for a number of reasons. Uncontrollable elements such as weather, inappropriate conduct on behalf of the fans or the players, or injuries can impact a baseball fan's willingness to attend a game. All of these elements can impact brand loyalty for the Dodgers. Also, the price increases signify a change in the rules and could hinder perceived value and resurrect trust issues. Many fans cannot connect with the team through television. Not being able to watch the games prohibits a cohesive storyline, which is essential to making an emotional connection to the fans, a key element of building and maintaining brand loyalty. For someone to get behind a sports franchise, they need to know what they are rooting for.
Considering all the uncontrollable variables, one must wonder if brand loyalty in sports is even possible at all.
The answer is yes. Despite having several losing seasons, both the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Cubs have high attendance on par with winning seasons. Studies have shown that the Brave fans have strong connections with the employees in respect of their organization. Cubs fans have an emotional attachment to the legacy and the storyline of the brand.
To determine the various levels of Dodger brand loyalty, a survey was conducted. Initial surveys were administered to 200 participants, all of whom had attended a Los Angeles Dodgers game in the last 2 years. 60 of these surveys were performed in person at several locations around Los Angeles. This included Dodger Stadium before and during 2 games, at Staples Center prior to a Stanley Cup Finals game, several visits to the Shortstop Bar near Dodger Stadium, and at a personal appearance featuring Dodgers infielder Justin Turner. The remaining participants were obtained through social media sites such as Facebook, where an ad for the study was placed, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other social networking sites. Questions were based on previous research regarding sports loyalty and the theories of Roy, Olson, and Akers. They were designed to understand the cognitive, behavioral, and emotional loyalty of Los Angeles Dodger fans. The in-person surveys took on the feel of either a focus group or interviews, as participants loved to offer up additional information not contained on the survey. That information was noted and included in the evaluations. There were flaws with the survey. For example, the Dodgers have a large non-English speaking fan base. Since the survey was conducted only in English, this fan segment was not included. Cognitive scores were judged by a series of questions that focused on value, safety, and whether or not Dodger Stadium was family-friendly. Someone with a low cognitive loyalty would weigh these values much more than someone with a high cognitive loyalty. The maximum score obtainable, judged on 17 cognitive questions by any individual, was 71. Under 24 was low, 25 to 48 was medium, 49 to 71 was high. Each individual was classed into a high, medium, or low group. Of the 3 loyalties, cognitive had the most participants who fit into the high loyalty categories with 25%. The Dodgers overall found most people in the medium range. During the interviews about safety, there were varied responses. Many fans commented on the improved conditions of security at the ballpark. A regular remark was, "Well, now it's safe," while another would say, "Well, it's safe as long as you are wearing blue." As far as safety is concerned, the average score on a 7-point scale was 4.31 in the parking lot, which jumps to 5.4 once people are inside the stadium.
However, the standard deviation for parking safety is nearly 2. On a 7-point scale, that means there were a number of varying opinions on this. For a cognitive buyer to act, they must not even have to consider their safety. While the entire Dodger Stadium experience was considered a medium value at 4.11, just above the median, the individual park purchases scored lower overall. Parking scored 2.85 as a value, food 3.1, and merchandise 2.91. It was noted by many that they expected to pay a premium, or what some refer to as Disneyland prices, when going to the ballpark, but still thought the prices were too high. Live participants also took the word value at heart when judging the parking. Many thought $10 was a fair price for parking in general, but the current parking lot is a hassle or nightmarish to get in and out of. Therefore, it is not worth $10. Some also compared it to the ease of getting in and out of the Anaheim Angels parking lot, which is considered much easier.
Behavioral scores were judged by 14 scoreable questions that covered attendance, viewing habits, use of social media, and how much was spent per game. The maximum score obtainable by any individual was 49, under 16 was low, 17 to 32 was considered medium, and 33 and above was high. Someone with a high behavioral loyalty would attend often, purchase a lot if attending, or follow the team or players on social media sites, and watch the games on TV. 67% of people fell into the medium range, with 10% high and 23% low.
It was found that 49 participants only attended 1 to 3 games, with the second largest grouping attending 4 to 8 games with 17%. Reasons for not attending the games included pricing, the hassle of going, distance from the ballpark. Even season ticket holders with high behavioral loyalty mentioned that some of these reasons for not attending, but for the most part, they didn't attend more frequently because going to the game 7 nights in a row for a homestand was quote-unquote a lot. 47% have been watching for over 20 years, as we mentioned, and an additional 12% over 13 years. 52% reported seeing the games as a child. As far as viewing habits go, 31% watch the games on television, 32% do not watch the games at all, and 37% said they did not watch the games this year, but they did last year. Many of those spoken to in person who watched last year did not think that a deal for Time Warner Cable and DirecTV would be worked out in 2014. One fan with high overall loyalty made a very telling comment. He said, "Anyone can watch the games. They can switch to Time Warner. They choose not to." It would seem that this 38% has higher loyalty to the television service like DirecTV than they do to the Dodgers. Either that, or they loathe Time Warner for forcing them to make a change. It's obvious that the content on Sportsnet LA, in addition to Dodgers games, is not enough to lure fans away. The social media numbers were good, with all but 14 participants following the Dodgers on at least one social network, and 29% followed on 2 or more. Emotional scores were judged by a series of questions that included legacy, nostalgia, attachments to players present and past, trustworthiness of the organization, and the like. The maximum score obtainable was 72, and under 25 was considered low, 25 to 48 was medium, and 49 and above was high.
Again, most people ended up with a medium emotional loyalty to the team. The players are generally found to be trustworthy and committed to their jobs, with an average score of 5.27 on a 7-point scale. Also, the management is well thought of, much more than Frank McCourt, scoring 4.96 on the trustworthy scale. When asked if management had the best interests of the fans in mind, they scored 4.43. These two different scores show room for improvement, but it's obvious that management is winning the fans back. Also, fans were asked who is to blame for the Time Warner problem. 83 people picked the Dodgers and Time Warner Cable. However, 54 more picked Time Warner Cable by itself.
One obstacle to receiving a high loyalty score was that 38% surveyed couldn't name a favorite player, past or present. They were unfamiliar with the Dodgers' legacy about their retired numbers, with over 68% failing to name a single one. However, there are parts of the Dodger legacy that are very familiar to even the passing fan. When asked their favorite part of the Dodger legacy, 25% said Jackie Robinson, 9% said the '88 World Championship, 11% said the rivalry with the Giants, and 3% for Fernando Mania. But the biggest part of the Dodger legacy was announcer Vin Scully, way out in front at 43%, and nearly all the participants answered this question, even those who couldn't previously name a player.
Each person interviewed earned a cognitive, behavioral, and emotional score. Based on the segmentation by Roy, the 200 Dodger fans surveyed broke down into these 12 groups. For example, 5% of those surveyed scored high cognitive, high behavioral, and high emotional, while another 5% scored medium cognitive, medium behavioral, and high emotional. While a strategy should be pursued for each of these groups, there are two in particular that would be the best starting point.
The first group are the high cognitive, medium behavioral, and medium emotional, and those who scored medium across all categories. Not only do they make up 55% of those surveyed, they are the ones that are most open to making a positive change. For example, those who rank low, low, low were probably not immediately reachable. Those interviewed that fit that category tended to be visiting from out of town and/or were attending the first game. These are the people who come to Dodger Stadium as one of many of LA's tourist attractions. The MMM and the HMM groups can be reached. They are already aware, visit several times a year, and have a small working knowledge of the Dodgers. So these would be the ones to target for improvement. This study provides a look into the cognitive, behavioral, and emotional loyalty of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I have 4 major takeaways to discuss. First, a personal note. While conducting this study, I learned much more about the perceptions of the Dodger fans from talking to 60 people in person than from the 140 people who filled out the questionnaire online. It is suggested that the Dodger organization go out and meet as many people as possible. One reason the Atlanta Braves are so popular, according to Weems, is that the people of Atlanta feel connected to the employees. That kind of personal touch would be worth duplicating here. In the cognitive realm, while the overall experience was rated medium, the individual elements such as parking, food, and merchandise were not. If Dodger management was asked about the value of their product, a different opinion would probably emerge. Let's revisit the Braves and the Cubs. The Cubs are the 3rd highest priced baseball ticket in Major League Baseball. They have had only 3 winning seasons in the last 10 years, and yet they have high brand loyalty. The Dodgers, in comparison, are ranked 11th as far as ticket prices go and other elements. The Dodgers appear to be a pretty fair value when compared to the Major League Baseball average and the prices of the Chicago Cubs. They win a lot more, too. These ticket prices are a little misleading as they are face value. With both the Dodgers and the Cubs, there is a Ticketmaster surcharge and taxes that add 30% to some ticket values. The Braves also use Ticketmaster, but their charges seem to be much lower. However, the people who participated in this survey perceive that food, parking, and merchandise are not a value. Their opinions on safety vary wildly. If the Dodgers believe that their product is a value and is safe, it is not being communicated as well as it might be. For example, ACA recommends a rewards program to raise cognitive loyalty. One season ticket holder also suggested the Dodgers implement one as well. Here's the problem. The Dodgers do have a rewards program, yet it is not being communicated effectively. In the behavioral realm, let's go back to that earlier example of the person that orders their ice cream in from Texas. They hurdle the obstacle, distance, in order to get the ice cream that they want. An example of an obstacle to attending a game is the hassle of going. The stadium is too far for a lot of fans. The parking lot has been a problem for decades and probably can't be fixed. What needs to happen is that behavioral loyalty can be increased so people will scale that obstacle. The Dodgers have implemented many partnerships with public transportations and recently announced special direct buses that will bring fans to the games. Of the 200 people surveyed, only 2 mentioned that they use alternative transportation like the Metro. The obstacle of going to the game and being a hassle-free event needs to be lowered by letting the fans know they have other options. Most of the fans don't see a way that they can help the Dodgers get back on television and are unwilling to switch their services. Almost 70% don't watch the games this year. As far as the television option goes, the Dodgers could lose out on a large portion of their fan base if and when this problem is worked out. When television resumes, a high entertainment value must be injected into the content and programming of the Dodger games and all the other programs in order to make fans tune in. People are not engaged with the storyline of the Los Angeles Dodgers, either for this season or for the team legacy. Los Angeles has an uphill battle explaining their legacy because the town itself is open to people that have relocated from another area. About 50% didn't see Dodger games as a kid, and about that same number reported that they didn't feel nostalgic about the club. The Dodger legacy has not been properly relayed to the fans. As mentioned, while most of the people surveyed are following the Dodgers on social media, digital alone is not getting the job done. With no television available, the Dodgers need to better embed themselves with the public and the community so that the story that they want to relay is being heard.
When asked in 3 words, what do the Los Angeles Dodgers mean to you? There were a variety of answers. Fans do not know what the Dodgers stand for. The Dodgers do not have a mission or values statement, and developing one now would be a good start for this new era. Not being able to use television gives an opportunity to meet the public and bring the story to them in person. This will take work, money, and energy. Raising brand loyalty, though, does not happen with a single slogan or promotion. There needs to be regular two-way conversation implemented. In order for a sports franchise to work, fans need to know what they are rooting for.
Aker suggests a brand energizer, a physical location or event that reacquaints the public with the product. Aker gives examples of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile or the various events that Red Bull sponsors. For example, regular family-friendly events at a pop-up or temporary Dodger Stadium in various parts of Los Angeles could start to happen. This would allow fans to learn more about the team's legacy, experience the food, even view the games, and get to meet other fans. Making an emotional connection in person is a lot of work, but it makes the bond stronger. Are the Dodgers experiencing true brand loyalty or a popularity surge? It seems like a popularity surge. However, that doesn't mean that can't change. 2014 has been an exciting season. The Dodgers are in a back-and-forth battle with the Giants for first place. Pitchers Josh Beckett and Clayton Kershaw have both thrown no-hitters. However, with the lack of television coverage, few people know about it. With the negotiations dragging on, the Dodgers need to explore additional venues to express their message and increase brand loyalty. Personally, I feel not having television to work with provides an opportunity for the Dodgers to take a public, in-person route to creating a two-way conversation. While this is more work, it provides an opportunity to create deeper and better bonds and understand the fans better.
Look at those trees. Look at that bum over there, man. He's down on his knees. Look at these women.